G'day punters, welcome to Just a Walk. Thanks, a new betting and bloodstock focused podcast brought to you by Mailbag Bloodstock. Present on week one, episode one's episode, John O'Reilly, the racing manager at Mailbag Bloodstock. Mickey Gannon, head of tactics and reviews and previews in New South Wales for Mailbag Bloodstock. Rob Scurry, eyes on ponies, they whisper to him. He just does whatever he wants at Mailbag Bloodstock. And the man behind the scenes at every yearling sale this year, working very closely with myself and Jono, Butch Bourne. Butch, welcome to the team. How you going, mate?
Good, Dicko. How's everyone?
Good. How'd you find Adelaide, Butch, and particularly not just Adelaide, but for the first time meeting Rob and Jono?
It was a bit like one of those family reunion shows, really. You know, how everyone embraces and they think they belong with each other. That was us. There's brother Rob.
I missed you already, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
See you again.
Yeah. No, I'm feeling it. No, it was good. It was good to finally catch up and meet everybody. And although the sales are hard work, it's you guys turned up towards the pointy end, which makes it a bit easier.
What did you think when Rob showed up on Sunday late, firstly, and then with a guest as well?
Yeah, well, he brought in someone that bore a strong appearance to an Uber driver. I don't know how do you describe an Uber driver, but this guy looked like one, and sure enough, he brought the Uber driver in with him.
So,
Rob, run us through that, would you?
look, it's not like I invited the bloke. He just said there's no races today. I said, yeah, there's no races today. He said, what's happening here? I said, well, they're displaying horses to sell. And he goes, I'd like to see that. And I said, well, you're welcome to come in and have a look around if you want. And he said, yeah, I wasn't. Anyway, so yeah, he came in with me. It was quite the entrance. It made you guys laugh. So, yeah, anyway, we didn't hang out for too long, me and the scene, but yeah, it was good fun.
More importantly, lads, has he got a share in anything yet?
No,
You just rack up a few more hours, few nighttime shifts, and go 5%.
I was more concerned that we might have a share in the scene's medical bills if you got hit by a horse. You know, you need to have a very healthy respect for the power of the animal, and I don't know if being fresh to the sales, he had it. Jono, you got on a plane, you went to Adelaide. Did you have a good time? Highlights, lowlights? I thought you carried yourself much better than you did this time last year. Your ability to back up at the All-Star Mile weekend was borderlining on a disgrace, you know, from Kiwi stock that generally stays your week. But in Adelaide, I thought you really bounced back and you performed really well.
Yeah, sort of a couple of backhanded compliments there as an introduction, so thanks for that. Yeah, look, the All-Star Mile, like you said, I went a bit early on the Friday night. I was excited to meet you all, and didn't quite pan out on All-Star Mile Day itself. But yeah, Adelaide was great. Took 48 flights to get there, but got there eventually, and yeah, it was great. I think highlights, going to Morphettville Racecourse was right up there for me. I was not expecting much, and it delivered in spades.
I was saying, Butch, it reminds me of like Sandown if they renovated it and put money into the joint.
I haven't been there, so they've got a new deck, haven't they?
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah, I haven't been there. You would have had a good look at that. You're an old maker of decks, aren't you?
Yeah. I've built a few in my time.
I'd take it over any deck in Sydney, I tell you. Morphettville.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the
100%.
and the course in general? Apart from, and I'll just get it out of the way for you, Rob's discussed it, having 526 Sky One blasted across the PA system 24/7.
You know, can pay an intern, not much, just to hit the mute button on the Harvey Norman commercial. You know, that's just a quick value add, but not much. But I think it's a great track. I think, you know, we were on the parks on Saturday Saturday, which is not as good. But I've been to Goodwood Day a couple of times. I just think it gives most horses their chance. It's tempo-related races. You can run on from out wide. The winners can hold on. You often find, at the 200-metre mark at Morphettville, that you don't know where to look for the winner.
Yeah, which is generally why I don't like betting at the joint. Let's recap our purchases from Adelaide. We picked up 2 fillies, one by Maurice, sort of off Arrowfield, and a Seamus Award filly from Mill Park Stud. Jono, price points. You happy?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I think we certainly wanted the Maurice and got it, and the Seamus Award I think we got at a much cheaper price than what we were anticipating having to spend. As we were bidding there, it looked like we were going to get it for a bit of a steal, and it turned out that way at 60,000 fuller hammer, and the Morris was 110,000 fuller hammer. So
good fun on the Zoom listening to Butch on the phone, isn't he? He called that one well. He said we're going to get this one cheaper than we think. Butch, what did you love about those 2 horses?
Well, besides both being very nice athletic types, the Maurice out of the Dundeel mare, and if you have a look at what works, Hitotsu out of Redout's mare, which is Danehill. You got Danehill and High Chaparral on the dam side over Maurice here. So you got 2 of the best nicks going around, stakes winners, 6 stakes winners out of those 2 crosses. So that works, and this will excite you. It's double saddle as well.
Oh yeah. Very much into that sort of backlog of pedigree.
Yeah,
you've educated me.
Look, obviously a high quality mare. She was a 2-year-old winner of the Dundeel. Now that's a rarity. So that's a plus. Any mare that wins a 2-year-old race will pass that maturity on to the stock. And this filly, even though she's bred to maybe get over a little bit of a trip, wouldn't surprise me if Gay and Adrian were able to produce something late too with this thing.
What did you think of the sale overall? It looked like to me the right sort of horses still made their money, and the weaker stock did not. But we're looking at the better sort of horses, so it wasn't sort of necessarily easier for us.
Yeah, typical of a one of those lesser sales. They tend to go harder on the few that are up the top there. And what you got to wonder is the I'm Invincible Extreme Choice, how they stack up with Gold Coast and Easter, that type of horse. So those prices are getting very close to the other 2 sales. If you keep doing your second and third looks in the Adelaide sale, those horses will keep coming to the top. So, but it does. How do they compare? So overall, look, there's good horses. That I think 2 years ago was it She-Light? He's a $60,000 horse. Those sort of horses are private eye. Those horses come out of Adelaide all the time. Just that little bit off the pace. They haven't got the bells and whistles on them, but the right sort of horse, the right pedigree. It's that balance. And the reason you pay 110 and not 60 for the other filly is that someone else wants it, and that's that balance. But if you look at those 2 fillies, they're you're coming in at just a bit above the average sale average, for both of them. So that's about where the decent ones come out of that price point.
Rob, what did you think of them both? And also, you and Butch very, very keen on a Cosmic Force, which was top 4 lot day 2, maybe for the whole sale.
Yeah. Look, the fact that it had the 4 white socks, which there's an old myth in racing that you don't want that. But I'm sure this one's going to be the exception to it. I'm a sucker for the Japanese He's bred, done deal 2-year-old winner, just walk right. It just had a good attitude. That's enough for me. And then I kind of liked it. And then Butch said, well, yeah, it's on the short list, so I kind of like it too. So, it's fantastic. The other one, the Seamus Award, was a bit toey, but who knows? She might not have been like that. We got Butch to talk to the stud manager. He said, "No, this is out of the ordinary for her." I just like the way she moved. Looking on her page, I noticed that one of my old man's favourite fillies is there in Azuro. Back in the 92 Turnbull Stakes Day, it was my old man's biggest day ever. Naturalism winning and Let's Lobe going under. But yeah, Azuro was a great start in the Chester Manifold, they called it back then. She was the top. She was like the top filly of the Melbourne Spring. I think what's this one rated to it? It's like second dam. Anyway, so yeah, that impressed me. This Seamus Awards, we're going to pay a fair amount more. The average price for these horses is what we were kind of expecting to pay for this horse. So just think it's great value.
You liked how she paraded out the back, didn't you, Butch?
Yeah, well, just on that, I mean, what Rob's left out is that the 148 to Glenelg just flew past behind her on the tram tracks. So that you got to cut her a bit of slack for that. So, but she paraded really good out. She conducted herself really well.
Almost went to the grunts and the stallion shaft there, Butch, but I held back. But I've lost my train of thought.
Well, the Morris goes to Gay and Adrian, Mick. They're flying. Obviously, the slipper coming up. We'll talk more about that when we talk to Adrian.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Is any other stable in the country that you want to go to? And they're low flying. It'd be good to have a chat with Adrian. They've got 6 of the 7, 6, potentially 7 runners in the Golden Slipper, and I think 5 or 6 at the top of the market. So it'd be really interesting to see how the Slipper unfolds. But yeah, you wouldn't want to send it anywhere else.
Here's the great man now. Adrian, welcome to the podcast. We're just going to try and roll straight into it. How you going?
Hey guys, how are you?
Very, very good. Big weekend ahead for you. Could be enormous, should be enormous. What are the nerves like?
Look, just trying to keep busy at the moment, keep the mind occupied, and there's sort of plenty of horses here to do that. But just even with the slipper horses, just trying to tick all the boxes, keep them in routine, keep the day today sort of very much the same, and sort of almost try and forget slipper day there on Saturday. It'll come up very quickly on us.
Do you have any sort of trouble keeping your normal pattern, getting to sleep, things like that, or does it really buzz you up like you're almost a footballer?
Look, I think sometimes I can gauge, maybe I gauge our weekend's chances by my anticipation going into the races. Sometimes I can be a bit flat going into the weekend, and maybe it's going to be a quiet weekend for us. And other days on about sort of Thursday, you sort of start getting up and about and a bit of a spring in the step going into it. So that's sort of how we're feeling at the moment. There's a good buzz around the stable. Certainly with all the owners as well, the connections of sort of each individual horses, they're all up and about. So it's a good build up, no doubt. And just also trying to enjoy it as much as we can.
Have you had a chat with Gay about what fascinates me is what you guys are going to do pre-race? Do you just pull all the jockeys in together as a group, or do you try and get to them one by one? It's going to be chaos.
Yeah, I guess, and particularly with they've all drawn so well, all drawn sort of quite, all the speed seems to be in low. So look, I'm going to have to sort of leave it to an extent up to the jockeys individually how they want to carry it out. But no doubt, sort of be having that conversation with each of them at some stage, just sort of how they see the race unfolding, how they essentially want to try and execute it to best sort of try and place themselves in the best position. Do sort of anticipate it being a high pressure race. And I know we sort of can control that to an extent, but I think that works in for a lot of our chances that they do go forward, put the pressure on, and happy to make it a high pressure race.
Gee, buddy, the barrier gods, they're on your side. 4 of the 5 inside draws there. That's got to be, it's got to keep you and Gay happy there. Mate, out of those for there, Lady of Camelot, Shangri-La Express, Stormboy, Fully Lit, which of those would you expect to find the rails and lead?
Look, sort of out of those, naturally, Lady of Camelot's probably got the greatest speed out of those ones that we sort of mentioned. She's sort of drawn wider than those. Even Straight Charge, I think he's out of 9. He's and Tim Clark, like Tim's a natural sort of positive rider. That the profile of that horse as well, he could even sort of be doing plenty to roll across and try and find the fence as well. Fully Lit's got tactical speed. Storm Boy, we want him to be thereabouts for sure. Brian came out this morning, haven't quite had the full discussion with him yet to see what he feels and thinks, but straight answer, I don't quite know out of those yet.
And the follow-up question on that, just quickly, sorry, Jack, would be Storm Boy, has he been ridden in behind runners in track work, and how does he react to that?
Yeah, definitely in track work he has. Even last Wednesday we sort of took him to Kensington track. He had an exhibition gallop. I don't know if you got a chance to see any footage there, but we had him sitting in behind a partner. He looked relaxed beautifully. Sort of as soon as he sort of pulled out, he went, sort of quickened up in, a couple of strides. So, as I said, I think with the pressure that's expected in the race, with that, even sort of if they end up taking a sit, if they're rolling along at that expected speed, well, I think the majority of them will be able to settle, if not chasing throughout the run.
Did Armour get a chance to sit on his back this morning?
He did. So he only just jetted in late last night. He came to the track first thing this morning. There wasn't much for him to do. It was only sort of steady work. But it was good for him to get a feel for him. He's the ultimate professional, Ryan. He's quite an incredible guy to sort of speak to. So he hung around for a while and had a good chat with him, sort of about his experiences sort of all over the world. It's as I said, incredible guy to sort of try and pick his brain. He's just obviously the world's best. So just he got a good feel for him this morning.
Didn't hand him the shovel, do a bit of work.
Oh, turn up.
No, look, it was just one hit for him this morning. That was it.
Full credit to him. Outside of the Golden Slipper, I'm not going to even ask you for a tip because I don't think you'll give one. You just say, I hope one of them wins. What else do you like on Saturday that you've got running?
I think Red Resistance, you can be forgiving of him their last start. I sort of quite fancied him going into the Fireball, and as he sort of topped the rise, I thought he was sort of going to go right on with it. He probably got himself a bit worked up pre-race, and even those sort of first few sectionals just raced a little bit fresh, sort of been a year off the scene. So I think they're having had that run now. I think we can expect a better performance from him, but no doubt he's got plenty of talent. So certainly one I'd be keeping an eye on.
Beautiful. Before we let you go, Butch found we loved and you guys like as well the Maurice filly via Arrowfield that we picked up at Adelaide. What do you love about her?
Oh, look, I got so much time for the progeny of Maurice. Like throughout the year, we're very selective on that stain in particular, but we're very keen to get as many of them in the yard as we can. Colts or fillies, they're just such a versatile stain. What he throws in his progeny, like I guess they're great trainers' horses. They got the ability to be racing at 2 for you, which all the ones we've had success with have. But they've got the scope to train on. They get out at 3. They're racing in those classic distances for you. They can get out to Oaks and Derbies. So that's sort of what you love, being able to train and have that versatility in the progeny. Arrowfield are an incredible nursery. Like their record of producing stakes horses and top class horses has got to be one of the best in the Hunter. So she's coming off a great farm where she'd be given every chance. Statistically, Maurice is a very good stallion, and you're out of it's a first or out of a young producing mare. So statistically, you're better chance of getting their best progeny. And she was well performed herself, 4th in a couple of black type events, Group 2 events. So again, statistics in your favour there that you're out of a well performed mare. So it's a great play in that regard, and she just looks a nice solid type that I think she looks like she'll thrive on a bit of work. So we'll be able to give that to her.
For people interested in and who have already got reserved a share in her, what's her next 2 or 3 months look like? Because
Yeah, so
basically find the horse, buy the horse, agree with you, and it's yours now.
Yeah, brilliant. So she'll be coming travel back to New South Wales. We'll just give her a few weeks in the paddock just to get over the trip, but the sale process itself, just let her get her head down, put a bit of condition on, but mainly just to get over, they've been in preparation for the sale for, sort of good 8 to 12 weeks prior. So, that's a preparation in itself. We'll just give her a little break. She'll be broken in at Evergreen Farm, her early education, just taught to accept a rider, mouth them up, etc. They'll go through to our, I guess, pre-training stable at Hawkesbury, and I think that's a good in-between step. We're getting them. It's not the harshness of throwing them straight in the city environment. They can sort of still go to a provincial track, but they're on course. There's good facilities there, plenty of traffic around from other horses. She'll go back to the paddock, or she may just come through Randwick the first time, and we'll just do a little bit more with them each preparation. So start doing a bit of pace work when she's in here. Next time, a lot of barrier work, might get her through to a jump out. The following prep would be great to get her through a trial. So just sort of building blocks each time. But she looks a lovely prospect for us. So delighted that she's been able to join the team.
Anyone else have a question for Adrian before we let him go and try and get himself mentally and physically sweet to get a good night's sleep ahead of a monstrous Saturday?
I got some nice whiskey at home that helps. So that's all right.
Just quickly on Red Resistance, Adrian, because I was going to ask you about that horse because I was on it first up, and like you, I thought the 300 that were in business, is stepping up another 100 metres not a concern?
I think sometimes those 1,100 metre races, and particularly from that shoot at Randwick, there can be a fair bit of urgency there in the early stages, and you just sort of got fired up or a bit running. The intention wasn't to be leading that day, and I was hoping Nash was just going to be able to give him a little bit of cover just in behind the speed, just to help him sort of switch off. But Nash sort of just in fairness didn't want to fight him, went with him, but he probably just brought himself there undone. 1,200. Sometimes you can just find it's not much of a dramatic change in terms of the distance, but just the tempo of it. I think he might be able to have an easier time for that first part of the race, although we're drawn a little awkward, but we've got a couple of sort of bit of speed out wide that might be able to sort of work across with them and just sort of be able to take his time in doing it, not have that urgency of that start at 1,100. So, I think if he can execute the first part right, he'll be strong late for you.
Cheers.
All right, Adrian, best of luck on Saturday. We're obviously cheering for you, mate. I hope you have a phenomenal day.
Awesome.
Well.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having us on the show too.
Thank you. First show ever.
Thanks,
big result. See you, man.
See ya.
Great chat there with Adrian Bott, who's in for a phenomenally big, fat weekend there all across Australia, but particularly at Rose Hill. If you're interested in that Maurice filly and want to reserve your share, contact us, Jono, at themailbag.com.au. Look, we'd be very grateful, and I'd pray to all the gods and thank them all. And I'd probably convert to one of them if I knew they were responsible, if she could get to the levels of Mr. Brightside. That's how grateful I would be to be part of a horse of that talent and ability. And
just quietly, we've also got 5% left in the Yes Colt that also goes to them. So if you don't want the Morris filly, there's 5% share left in the Yes Colt, who's been broken in at the moment.
Well, big boy and buy both. Big boy shit, Rob. Mr. Brightside, the narrative again, they love it. The clickbaiters love targeting racing's greatest human being in Craig Williams. Mickey Gannon, I assume you were doing radio on Monday morning, and I assume it was a hot topic. It would have been tricky to handle.
Oh, it was just ridiculous. Complete waste of my time. It was he wrote it to perfection, and I could only imagine that Zach Burton got on the phone and offered his services, and that's how it's come about.
Fortune, your experience in the industry, being around for a long time, trained them, buy them, lots of angles to the industry. You're the most experienced person here. What was your view on the ride, the race, and the reaction from the stable and the owners?
I've always thought that sometimes when you're going to go to the races, you just can't win. That's just the way it's going to happen. And the more you looked at that race, it was sort of taking that shape. But I've always thought, give them the best chance. You can't ride them out of their comfort zone. So he put it in the perfect spot. When the race set up the way it was, well, we probably couldn't have won. But when you see Cascadian run third, the second and third horses were both ridden to run a place, and they were in the right spot. The ones that were chasing, they were the ones that folded. But look, you can't win. I mean, they've had a really good run with that horse, and that's just like move on. It'll probably come out and win its next two. It's just. Wow, everyone would kill to get a horse like that, And I don't know what it is about Craig Williams. Why does everyone attack poor old Craig?
He's a lightning rod.
He's just the easiest one it's just unbelievable. Yeah.
What I will say is they've got a horse push that can win an Australian Cup. And if they had to push forward and sat on speed, there's every chance that they wouldn't have had a horse left to win an Australian Cup. And Pride of Jenny's run a career peak better than Brightside's ever gone.
100%, Nick. You are so right, because the day you push the button on a horse, it's okay when you're in a Melbourne Cup or whatever you're in, but you just can't repeat that, It just doesn't happen, So he's ridden it so it can go out and have another 2 or 3 starts, and that's, they might have run second in the All-Star Mile, but what if they win their next 3? How much prize money will they accumulate, And
I think there's every chance that vote was 100% Craig Williams as well. We've got no idea.
Yeah, I just think it's a dumb look. It's a really bad look for the stable. Like, they've got a really popular horse and they look like petulant, spoilt brats when they blow up about a ride, and they do it. I think you have to hold your tongue, even if it is a bad ride, post-race, and just wait to get the data through, the sectionals through, and calm down before you publicly vent. Mr. Brightside's, that's the quickest he's gone significantly to the 600 in its career. It's the fastest it's ever covered 600 metres in its career. It's the best that horse has ever run was on Saturday. Now, that'll get lost in ratings because it's not a group race, it's not a group one, so they'll bump up other runs he's had. But the way I view races, that's his personal best performance. He just ran into a horse that went absolutely suicidal and somehow didn't die and sustained the run. That's probably the biggest story here, Butch. Imagine the narrative if Pride of Jenny had just fallen in a hole at 300, which off those sectionals she should have. I mean, Declan Bates should have an homage just somewhere in his house, just to Pride of Jenny. Like, what a horse.
Oh, and we only have to listen to him post-race, and he's very well aware of that. He just sounds extremely grateful just to be in that situation.
Another superstar, Atishu, boys, has been nominated for the National Broodmare Sale in June on the Gold Coast, which we hope to all be at, every one of us, including the White Kiwi. What will she make, Butch?
Well, if you roll back through, used to be a point in time where whatever they won on the track, they made as a broodmare. I mean, she's won close to $4 million. Forbidden Love made 4.1 last year. Vangelic made 1.5. Isotope, it made 2.3. Very hard to tell. Like, she's a 6-year-old Savabeel. She's sort of she's got that staying pedigree behind her a little bit. She's free of Danehill blood, so she'll match up well with anything. Schnitzel, Son of Schnitzel, Shomus Award, those sort of horses. Justify, American horse. She's going to land. Where would you put her? I don't know. Yeah, she's going to make 3 probably. I think any time they get a bit of age on them and the pedigree suggests a little bit of time, that's just a bit of a discount. That's all. So, I don't know, around the $3 million mark probably.
Avantage was that Kiwi filly. She went for 4.1, not at that sale. I mean, she won 9 Group 1s, but they were all New Zealand Group 1s. So, what do you...
Asterisk Kiwi Group 1.
Yeah, well, and it's gone for 4.1. So if you say a tissue won 2 Australian Group 1s, do you hold them in the same regard?
No, well, you don't sell the sausage, sell the sizzle, 9 Group 1s. Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's good, yeah.
Like the opposite of Japan, New Zealand Group 1 is like the antithesis of the Japanese Group 1, which, funnily enough, which is about the last decent race mare that's produced a good horse in Yankee Rose, produced the champion behind Equinox. Isn't that a knock? Like, Sunline had nothing, Maccabi Diva's done nothing, Winx, or we haven't seen it yet, but the champion mares which make, champion race mares, do they make champion brood mares?
No, but it's a bit like, like I say, a tissue 6-year-old. It's like a limit of runs or something on them. They're closer to it, just genetically wears them out. I don't know why, but it just doesn't. But I tell you what, you do want their daughters. Their daughters will breed on extremely well. So with say a black caviar, the idea would be that you mate her to stallions, which would be a good mating for her, blood-wise, and then you would race them, maiden win, city win, whatever, stakes win, listed win or whatever. But you would be looking at them as future broodmares.
I think there's something to that with Let's Elope. Can't remember which one, but there was Let's Elope is one of her daughters has turned out to be a very good broodmare. But she was quite stoutly bred. It's a bit like Maccabi Diva, I distinctly remember the Galileo that turned up at the sales. They paid a lot of money for a foal's Maccabi Diva, but I think he was a steeplechaser, that horse, I think, or a hurdler or something. He was a very high profile yearling, but and that's we all eyes on Winx. Yeah, that's the interesting part about that is she's got to defy a lot of history to produce a good racehorse. That history says she won't. So history says that. Did you hear me? History. Yeah, history says that.
We love history.
Yeah.
Speaking of history, we're going to make some on Saturday at Moonee Valley, my favourite racetrack. The Kiwi mare Imperatrice, back to probably her favourite deck, John. She's joined the car park though, Mickey Gannon. OP on $1.85 was the price yesterday. We're going to really hone in now on a bit of betting and thoughts on betting. Talk me through your opinions here, Mick.
Yeah, I'm probably most worried about what she does from the barrier and how the track plays. I'll probably just lean on you here, Jack, in regards to how you think the track will play rail in the true position.
I think it's going to be on pace, and I think this race has a good amount of genuine speed and leaders in it. I think she's been able to put herself right in the spot the last couple of races, and she's going to come up against a race shape and a setup here she hasn't seen. So when she won a good race at Moonee Valley the last time, like, she just rolled forward and led. I can't see her doing that here.
Yeah. Now I haven't basically mapped exactly the same way. I think they're going to have to go back, and I think there's a couple of really high quality horses clearly that are going to have 2 or 3 lengths advantage over her, namely Bella Nipotina. Cylinder's there, but I'd have it regressing off last start, and I think Bella Nipotina is the one around a $7 mark. You can play it on a 2x3 sort of basis and get a result out of it.
Is it a bit like how we were looking at the All-Star Mile pre-race and how it panned out? Like, is she doesn't get a good run, but is there a Pride of Jenny in this field? Comparing with Brightside to Imperatrice here.
I think there's like 3 potential Pride of Jennies here, and they don't need to be as good. They just need to be have a good day. The Q-Man, IME, and Hypothetical will go handlebars down, and they're flying. they come off, or Q-Man and Hypothetical Canella, the Group 1 at Caulfield, on a nice track, on a normal temperature, 3 weeks ago, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whereas Imperatrice, Bella Nipotina, Cylinder are coming off a 40-degree day, off a brutally run race, and a 2-week backup. I think that's against those 3 horses as well. I think Cylinder is a lay win in place here. It was blessed in run. And Bo Mertens, I love him, but Jamie Carr's in peak Jamie Carr form. Loses him, loses her. It's going to be back and it's going to be buried here.
Yeah, it'd be three pairs defence, which is less than ideal there at the Valley. So who is it for you then, Jack? Sounds like Bella Nipotina's the one.
No, I think if I just bet the win, I'd probably be like $75 hypothetical, $25 Q-Man. Might have just hypothetical each way for our staking that we're going to do. I was with him in the good race at Caulfield and gutted that he didn't get the job done. Q-Man beat him there. I think price-wise, $26, that hypothetical is a big fat price.
Beautiful. I'll be with Bella Nipotina 2x3, and we'll get our money back for sure, and big chance we'll get the big price.
Borchie, got a view here?
Yeah, I think I'm with Mick here. Go back to the William Reid. Imperatrice drew 7, Bella Nipotina drew 12, and you flip them around. One gets the good. It's only a length between them, and one's going to get a good run, and she runs terrific races at Moonee. She hasn't missed a place at Moonee Valley. Her last four starts, in Bella Nipotina. And I think she's won 2 of them or something. So she ran second in the Moir, beaten by Mrs. Bourne's horse, Coolangatta. So see how I got that in.
Yeah. What's that strike rate again?
Well, I don't know what hers is, but that's hers as an owner.
Calm down.
I'm gonna go against the Imperatrice Hayton. So fly the New Zealand flag.
Shock.
That's not because of a Kiwi.
No.
Yeah, and your favourite yearling. And your favourite yearling wasn't by excellent.
Extravagant.
Extravagant. Sorry.
Yeah. That was also not to do with the Kiwi flag, but I think she'll just she's like you said, Butch, Bella Nipotina has a good Valley record, but I mean Imperatrice is 4 from 4 there. She absolutely loves the circuit.
Is that an orange t-shirt you've got on underneath?
He's got
those little dick stickers. He got them made by Budgie Smuggler. He was wearing them in the pool in Adelaide.
No, he's got his Tiark top on underneath.
And he's got a pair of Budgie Smugglers, same colours.
Serious question though, Jono. How does she do it?
Well, just don't worry about it. She'll be too good.
The old man's just tipped me. The old man's Newcastle. He's just tipped me the 2 to beat the $1.28 shot. Blue vein.
Well, it's not a live stream, so we're not gonna. People aren't gonna be able
to beat Fearless.
Yeah.
All right.
Good chance. He said good chance to beat it. I guess we'll see. Probably got done by 4, but just thought I'd pass that along. Hang on, a little bit of money, 30 cents. Not you.
Anyway, we'll move on from the.
You should probably text that to your Uber driver, Rob.
Nassim, mate. Anyway, we'll see.
Straighten us up, John.
Imperatrice, she'll tuck in somewhere. Opie will have probably lost on the other ones that are in the market prior. He'll be hungry. He'll tuck her in, and she'll be too good. All right, are we going to have a look at the Golden Slipper then? Yep. All right, Rob. We did a preview show before. Do we think Stormboy wins? We thought it might be a Coolmore Domination?
Yeah. Why won't it win? It's like looks like it's been set for this. The only it's going to be a Magic Millions and Golden Slipper winner. We saw Dan Zero Capitalist do it, but usually they generally like to keep the ones. They'll if they think they're going to win the Slipper, they might stay away from the Millions, as it's like a double prep. It's hard to get them up for both. But yeah, it just looks like a bigger, stronger horse than the other ones.
Yeah. Mick, you're the resident Sydney expert. Are you seeing it much the same, or is there a possible risk with Stormboy?
Yeah, not my area, Rob, but I hear that he's a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old body.
Yeah.
Is the statement that was made several times this week. The barrier draw is ideal. There's been lots of chat about the inside draw is a disaster because he's half slow. He may be a quarter of a length slow, but in 4 strides he's right there. And he's got really fast horses inside, outside, and they're having to be stable mates. I don't think it's a problem at all. I'm even more convinced and happy to be with him based off the fact that Adrian said he settled in behind one and actually relished it. I've been told the justifiers don't necessarily like being in and amongst them, but I'll take Adrian on trust that he and Gay have got that right. He's clearly the best horse in the race. My query on Switzerland, the main danger is you've got Willow drawn inside on Traffic Warden. He's certainly not going to make it that easy for J-Mac to land in that 3 pairs back running line position, and I think J-Mac's going to have to settle for 4 pairs back the running line. It means there's going to be he'll be at least a length further back than where he wants to be, and I'll be surprised if he can make up the margin. Anything from outside those, probably looking for a horse that can make up ground. Frost is one of those. Bodyguard's probably not one of those. But of the on-speed horses, which is probably where you want to be, Rosehill 1,200 metres on a dry deck, Stormboy's clearly the one for me.
Perfect. And Butch, any opinion on this year's Slipper? Is there any stories from Slippers years gone by?
Thanks, John. Well, $8,627,000 was spent on the field to try and win $5 million. So a little bit of over capitalising there and trying to get the prize. But 3 homebreds line up. So good luck to the homebreds and the filly, the only weanling purchase, Hayasugi, $47,500 from the Sydney weanling sales. Schnitzel has had 5 Group 1 winners with Mr. Prospect aligned mares underneath him. Sweet Idea, Sun Jewelry, Russian Revolution, Away Game, and Shinzo, the Slipper winner. And Switzerland is out of a Blame mare, an American mare, Mr. Prospect aligned mare. So Switzerland will become Slipper you'll become the 6th Group 1 winner for that cross. So Switzerland Switzerland, Stormboy's going to be, he's going to be there. But the 2 of the who's that?
Rob's got his Newcastle.
I thought I was on mute. I got beat up.
Fucking never looked likely. It never looked likely of winning either.
Two of the most honest horses in the race are Frost and Hayasugi. They just don't know how to give up, those two. They just attack the line every time they run. And as far as small horses go, well, Jono, yes, Star Kingdom was one of the best stallions, came out in the 50s. He was about 14.2. Northern Dancer was about 14.3.
Yep.
A good pony's a good pony. Schnitzel, what a pony, 14.3 Schnitzel. What a great stallion. He's peaking. He should be on his way out, but he's phenomenal, that horse. And I reckon Switzerland's a really nice horse. I like him.
All right. Jack, you got any opinion you want to add in there, or should we move on from the Slipper?
No, not really. Just can't wait to watch it. I wish Ruderol won last start. Can't believe it didn't. Yeah, I bet you it beat Tone, the thing that beat it at Flemington. And I was very interested in Lady of Camelot. I was disappointed. I was sort of wanting a push from Mick though, so probably leave it alone. I also was disappointed. It's $8. Like, give you $15 for that horse.
The price point's the key there. You go 15. You're getting $15 a week ago, so someone's keen.
Yeah, I just like its SP profile versus the Hayasugi, so I think it's a really nice horse. But I just think it can improve here again.
No, not.
And now we've lost Scurry.
Obviously, next race at Newcastle is off. So
throwing the toys out of the cot after getting beat there at Newcastle. I reckon that's about us, guys, for episode 1 of Another Walk, Please. Big start. Well done to everyone. Butch, great debut. Huge debut. Not just gags, but a lot of good information in there too. Mickey Gannon, welcome to the team. Mick will be the voice you hear when you get involved in the Maurice filly as she gets to her gears up there in New South Wales. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. If you want to find out anything about our horses that are available, Jono at themailbag.com.au. Have a phenomenal weekend and bye for now.